He's
Like,
New
he
Year's.
was
The
so
red
jealous
spot.
when we were part of it. He thought he was never jealous.
I was trying to fill up the ship, right? They got two plates and I'm down the steering.
And.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Hey, David. Hey.
Yeah, I know. But anyway,
It's
I'm
going.
gonna be showing my LP thing. I got it.
It's-
I from North Carolina.
Yeah.
About 3 weeks ago, I've been after 15 years. I've had National Exchange signed my annual urban. About this, there was able to get it, we were telling me, they're off. My final guys, but I don't have it next to me.
You go to the
This is where the barber shop was. There's screen cards, very.
They donated a season.
That's where it was. If you look at the fireman photo with all.
No one did.
Partner.
Oh, yeah.
That's the bank some-
I don't know why, but someone did.
That's bad.
The guy,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's-
Pretty good.
Yeah. How are you? Wonderful. I
All right, it is some,
But-
it's home rail.
Good for you. Well, thank you.
Sure, I'll let you know, I'll save that. Thank you.
Cereal would be a great addition.
Yeah, my cell phone off.
I can see if I can clear it. So, just to put over, down Fort Story.
Yeah, we got plenty
Yeah.
of work in this building now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
So,
so.
there, tomorrow, I'll, see if I can finish it. Well,
Great.
how long, then,
Yeah, we started going around.
When you was in here, I am, you know, and I went, yeah, of course.
I'll see.
Sorry, yeah, okay, so.
First question is gonna ask.
I don't know, what do you think? I want to talk about statistics. We serve.
That boxes. Well, it might all be the same cereal, you know, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Save you guys love.
Oh, I had some cereal. Well, box. Meals.
There,
Right.
Arizona.
Oh, no.
So on,
We're going in
last
January.
on Tuesday, we served 141 family to get represented.
Kids and their grandkids.
So.
That was a drive, yeah, so,
And then,
okay.
and you guys do it twice a month.
Second, first cousin wants to move their granddaughter of these couples.
The only thing we don't is.
Dang.
So, we do a pantry on the first Tuesday. and then
Well, we may-
You could probably say. That's gonna be beautiful.
There's one tomorrow, it's the.
Well, we're gonna go to this.
They,
But I just
some of
walk
the
around
boxes
like
come-
this. No, it's more like
Supplement,
the little
run out of-
bell.
First Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we'll go to hand-
That it all was on the opposite, so we let them know.
So.
Oh,
Um,
bench.
we used to serve about 60
Yeah.
the last one we served. about- Yes, that's your time. We're a little worried tomorrow. Because nobody getting their snack and I said, oh, you just.
Yes.
All right, folks, I will go ahead and call our meeting to order. It is 7:01 PM. If we can start with a moment of silence, please. And if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk Domingo, if you'll take roll call for us, please.
Present.
Reed. Here. Stewart.
Here.
Rob.
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Brent,
Here.
and Mayor Snyder.
Here. Do I have a motion to approve of the agenda?
So moved. Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so this evening, we're gonna start off with one presentation from Amy Ryman with our Albion Community Table.
Thank you very much. Again, my name's Amy Ryman. I have been the executive director of the Albion Healthcare Alliance, since the end of May. And I'm here to represent the Albion Community Table, which a lot of you are very well acquainted with, and that is our food distribution service, here in Albion. Over the summer, Community Table moved from their location at the college into this building on the other side. We're now in the Marshall Opportunity School, through the luxury of Marshall Public Schools giving us that space. It's been really awesome. They've been really great to work with, just to start off. We run two different types of food distributions. We run a food pantry the first Tuesday of the month. We just restarted that in October after a hiatus since March. We had discontinued doing that at the college. And then we run 3 drive-through distributions. The difference in these are little bit different funding sources. At the pantry, people can come and basically shop the shelves. We give them a little bit more food at a time there. At a drive-through distribution, people register and a box is put in your car and you don't really have a lot of control over what's in that box. But we try really hard to make it a balanced sources of protein, sources of everything that you might need, some staples, things that are shelf stable and will last. One Tuesday a month, we receive fresh food boxes from the South Michigan Food Bank. Currently, we receive 150 of those. A lot of drive-through distributions or fresh food box distributions will, when they are out of those boxes, they will stop and tell everyone we're out, we're done. However, 150 does not go far enough for us anymore, and we have people on site to pack extra bags, similar to what you would get at another drive-through distribution, and we don't turn anyone away. So I can give you a few statistics if you don't mind. I'll just talk for a little bit and then I can take questions. Since we moved into the Opportunity High School, numbers have steadily climbed. When we first moved in August and did our first distribution, we served 164 families at drive-through distribution. We are now at 241 that we served last week, representing 669 individuals. We asked people to register with their name, their zip code, and the number of people they have in their household and their age. About 50% of the people we serve are over the age of 65. Pantry data is a little bit skewed. In our previous site, we would do 2 pantries a month at 2 hours at a time. However, the luxury of being here at the Marshall Opportunity School, we've decided to do that 1 day a month, also on the first Tuesday of the month. And we run from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It gives people who work a little more time to get here, a little bit more time to get through their schedule. We were serving between 50 and 60 families through 2 different distributions per month. We're now serving 104. Tomorrow will be the 1st of November and the first pantry of November, and the first since SNAP benefits have been discontinued temporarily by the federal government, and we're a little worried, but we'll keep you posted. We stockpiled food because we have a little more space over the summer and feel confident that we should be able to serve anybody who comes to get food tomorrow. We are also planning to do some extra food distributions for people who are SNAP eligible and have SNAP benefits normally. We're asking people to sign up through a link on our Facebook page electronically, or call the office if they don't have the ability to use a computer online to make another appointment to come in and get. We have some pre-packaged meal kits of all different types. We want to know dietary restrictions if you're on low sodium, if you're vegan or vegetarian, and we have a number of different meal kits that we've assembled to help kind of cut that need down a little bit there. I'm going to stop now and see if you guys have questions. Really happy to be here. Yes, CJ.
Thank you personally for your wonderful work. It's much needed and very much appreciated. I'm just curious, one of the things that you mentioned was in your your statistics, data collection, one of the things that you collect is our zip code information. So you serve a wider area than just Albion?
Yeah, we do. I would have to say the majority of what we're serving, about 98% are 49224 zip codes. We get a couple Concord, a couple Springport here and there sprinkled in there, but it's really almost without exception 49224 who are coming.
Well, thank you for all of your work.
Sure, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Amy, so if somebody, like you had said, don't have access to a computer, what number should they call?
517-629-5080.
And are there qualifications that you are looking for someone to be eligible to utilize this as a resource, or is it just if they have food stamps, SNAP?
If they're SNAP, if they're regular SNAP, they'll have their card, and we're asking for their approval letter so they can let us know how many people are in their household, so we can give them enough food accordingly.
Okay. Is it just for SNAP recipients, or can others?
The extra food is just for SNAP recipients, but regular pantry drive-through is for anybody who has food need.
Okay, and do you have like requirements or criteria to
Nope.
just anybody who comes?
Anybody who comes
Okay, so that's for drive-through.
for drive-through and for walk-in pantry.
Okay.
The regular distributions, and I have flyers if anybody needs them. I also have this in card form with a QR code with these have the specific dates through the end of the year. The other ones are just general. First Tuesday, second, third, and fourth Tuesdays. The only Tuesday we don't normally do a distribution is the 5th Tuesday of the month, and we don't have any more of those remaining this year. We are only doing 2 distributions in December, because that's just how the dates are working out. But we'll have 2 drive-throughs, 1 pantry. Yeah, but there's no qualification on those regular distributions. Just for these special extra SNAP ones, we're gonna add on that you can make an appointment and come up and see us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you again. And I'll take the poster
Yeah.
for the store. What do you need? And not necessarily that we individually or collectively as a body, but just that someone could be helpful.
Sure, I know people are really anxious to help. We could use money, which is always a helpful thing. We can purchase food at a lower cost than you normally can through the grocery store. We do have a QR code on the website or a button on the website where people can donate, so funds are always really appreciated. We're working on whether we can handle a food drive. There are only 2 other employees besides myself, and when people inundate us with a large amount of food, it's hard for us to get that sorted and get it appropriately done, but we're gonna work on being able to do that. We have had people drop food off at the Healthcare Alliance building, because that is open more than we are up here. And they can always call. We've had a couple of inquiries through the website about things that we need. In general, we want to have things that are canned or shelf stable. And we are actually going to publish what we're putting together our meal kits with, which are mainly canned and shelf stable things that we can ask people to donate, and that's coming. We're just kind of taking a back right at this minute.
And do you have any kind of agreement or working relationship at this point with the Southern Michigan Food Bank?
Yeah, so they're our supplier. So we have 2 accounts there, one for our pantry distribution and one for our drive-through. People can donate directly into our accounts there if they would prefer, and that is a donation to them. You want to make sure you get our account numbers from us so it goes into our account, and then we just are able to draw on those funds there for either our pantry or our drive-through distribution. So that's a really helpful. Thanks for bringing that up. It's really helpful. Helpful way to
Feeding
do it.
America volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes, a couple of thoughts come to mind. Is there, do you think that you can identify sources or ways to donate on a flyer that can be given to churches?
Yes.
And maybe, I don't know, Cash App or PayPal or something like that, where people can donate directly
Yep.
to that. I think that would help
Great.
as well.
We can do that. Yeah, we do have that. We actually have a graphic that looks like this about the community table, and we can get that around to people.
Okay,
And there's a QR code on there that has a link.
and we can send that electronically
You
or
can.
in person on
Yep.
Sundays.
Yep. And
Yeah,
I could get that to
That
everybody.
QR code goes for the donations, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
and that goes directly to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so that's already on their Facebook page,
Yes,
that flyer with the QR code.
But how do?
yes, it should be there. Yeah,
Yeah,
How do you, is there a mechanism to donate?
through
yes.
the QR code.
Through the QR code and on the website. There's actually a link on the website that if you click it, we have our own, through our website, our own processor, but you can also do PayPal.
Okay,
And that's already on our website.
if we have, because a lot of times people don't look at the website, but if you
Right.
can do a hard copy or
Yeah.
electronic copy, then we
Yep.
can.
Can. We had a community table board meeting this morning and we had asked one of our Albion Ministerial Association people to be there. It was just kind of last minute and she didn't make it. So we were hoping to push that out to them as well, and as well to the college.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Great. Okay, awesome.
You have enough people to get back to the
Have enough people.
We currently do have enough people, but there is a way to sign up on the website as well for volunteers if you want to come and help. So I hate to say the more the merrier, but we have about 10, we need about 10 people for a drive-through distribution. So if you have a group that would like to volunteer, you can call us or you can send us a message on social media if you'd like to schedule that, and we can work on scheduling you to come and help. Yeah, and we have a distribution list of volunteers when we take deliveries, which are not on distribution days, and we'll say, hey, we need X number of people to work on, say, this Thursday or this Friday or whatever date to help move things around and shelf and get things put away when it gets delivered, because it'll be 6 or 7 pallets at a time. And it needs to all kind of get moved through the system and put on the shelf so we can kind of work with it. Yeah, and that's coming. We're in the administrative wing of this building, what used to be the administrative wing, which is working out really, really well for us.
And Amy, given that we're coming up on Thanksgiving, is there a special drive-through that's gonna be for like turkeys and?
We don't do that. However, Substance Abuse Prevention Services and Playwright Academy both are having distributions. I feel like I heard Playwright had 400 turkeys, and they're gonna be on November 23rd. I don't know when Substance Abuse Prevention Services is, but they are also doing a turkey giveaway, so
Okay.
we aren't trying to duplicate that.
Okay.
And we're trying to match up. We know there's a couple places in town that are doing Christmas. We have some things for Christmas. We just don't have the whole shebang for Christmas. So I will say we have a lot of, we will have a lot of venison. We're the recipients of the 16 city deer that are being taken. And if you decide we get into a crunch and need more, we know how to make that happen as well. So we're kind of in a position to maybe do that. So, yeah,
Any other questions or comments for Amy while she's with us?
and I'll give everybody a question. You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
and
welcome.
thank you. We know that there's a lot of folks who have expressed concern. Wanted to make sure we were able to give that information to the public. And so I think that if we can push out that flyer that they have available, that can help.
Yeah.
At least get funds in. And then, like you said, if you are able to get a food drive going, I think people are also willing to purchase and make sure
Right.
that your shelves are stocked.
Yeah. I think one more statistic I forgot to say, about 16% of our population are SNAP eligible in 49224. That equates to about 1,200 people. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of hungry people this week. So we're gonna do our best, and I'll send some more statistics to the mayor about how we do tomorrow, so she can push those out to go. And I'll get moving too. Thanks. I'll get these flyers out.
Thank you, Amy. All right, public comment. If there's anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council in regards to an agenda item, you may do so at this time. All right, seeing no movement, do I have a motion to approve of the consent calendar items?
So moved.
Support. All right, in your package, you have the October 20th study session and regular session minutes. Any corrections or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-19 to approve the city of Albion for the federal grant procurement policy?
So moved.
City manager?
Yes. Madam Mayor, members of council, before you is a proposed policy
This is in regards to federal funding when the city receives it. This policy establishes a uniform standard and procedures for all federally funded purchases, contracts, and procurements to ensure compliance, transparency, and fiscal accountability. This was language taken out of this. As you know, we have a requirement on all federal contracts that to meet federal standards. And so what this policy does is it lists those standards for compliance. We have to have this. This is an accompanying document on each grant that we submit to the federal government or where government money is involved. So the administration had looked at it. We thank Lindsay for preparing this and her professionalism, and the administration asked City Council to adopt as such.
Any questions for city manager? City Clerk Domingo?
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Brent,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Next is our review of our council rules. Mayor Pro Tem French.
Thanks. I don't know if others have received email from the public, but I've received a number of emails from public members expressing concern about whether we are following council rules and policies. And it occurred to me that maybe some of our newer members of council had not actually seen this document. So I wanted to put that out to our council so they could review it. It's basically documents and characterizes how meetings are run and what our authority is and our basis for our authority and our roles and responsibilities. And so I brought that to you. I discovered, of course, as I expected, that the complaints that I was receiving about violations of council rules are completely unfounded. But I just wanted to let folks know that we have them and we're following them as we should, even if you didn't know that you were. So happy to take questions or to if people want to review them. It's 23 pages long. And so if there are things that you would like us to address and to think about, I'm perfectly happy to have a small group or a task force. We can do when we adopted this, councilpersons Brown and I put that together like a decade ago. And so if people want to review that and make some changes, happy to be part of that conversation. Perfectly happy. But we will take other questions.
Questions or comments?
Just a comment, but as you're aware, one of the comments I received was from one of my, received 3 constituents about, get the term right, serving on committees. And it was confusion with serving on council standing committees, which is clearly prohibited, and serving on other committees of other organizations that are civic based. And so that was where I got into this, and Andy, you got copied on that email as well. So but as far as I can see and from reading through the procedures, they look great, and I appreciate that you brought them up, and they seem detailed and clear, and it's nice to have as a reference. And now that I've gone through them, it's a little easier to say, say for example, you're out of order because you're calling me some name. I can say, yeah, it's seriously, it's nice to know when we can hold each other accountable and hold our audience accountable.
Thanks, guys.
Any other comments? All right, sounds good. Next is our update from our Department of Public Works. It's a very yours.
Good evening, council. Put together kind of a small timeline, 14 pages of what we've done so far. Yeah, sorry.
This will change.
Well, the city manager won't let me out of my office until I say at least 10. So, does anybody have any questions for me about anything so far that I put in the updates at all? Any of it? Tomorrow I will try to email out a leaf map, a map of the city with a leaf schedule. Kind of broke it down to like 6 or 7 areas. And I'll kind of have an explanation of how it's gonna go. So that way you can hand it out to anybody, it'll be in a PDF, so you can email it out to the citizens and whatnot, in your precincts. We had progress meetings today.
Now, was the machine that was coming through town the other day, was that the leaf machine?
That's the one you guys bought. That has been phenomenal. It actually looks like you ran a vacuum cleaner over the front lawn. It works really good.
Just the city of Coldwater has one, they were out today, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Really, how fast it is. And
So we took it in the cemetery because we wanted to see if we could fit. Just barely fits in a couple areas. What normally would take the guys about 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, they were able to do in 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
They were amazed. Actually, the parks guy or the cemetery guys were still blowing it. And they turned around thinking the vacuum would still be there. They were already gone. They're like, so that was a huge success. So, we had progress meetings today on all the projects. Berrien Street, they're looking to pave November 10th. We'll see. We'll see.
Put it in
Do that.
writing.
Well, I don't know about that. But that's that week of November 10th-ish is when they're looking to put down the first
He's already
pavement.
qualified-ish.
Ish, ish.
There's a lot, yeah.
Burr Oak Street. They are still hooking up north of the tracks. They are still hooking up the sanitary main with all new sewer lines going up to everybody's house, up to the sidewalk. That is not going to be paved this winter. They're gonna raise it up to dirt or raise it up, but it's gonna be dirt.
What street is that again?
Burrow.
You can't just go to the tracks.
They thought they were gonna be able to. But they're trying to get as much done on the north side of the tracks as possible. And so today they're just like, there's just no way we can get it done and be right. So,
That
But they're-
makes your snowplow guys have to be careful.
yeah, so we're gonna come up with a different strategy for that. Figure that one out, but yes, they're gonna raise it up so that way people aren't hitting the manhole covers and whatnot, but it's still gonna be. When it rains, it's gonna be a little muddy. So we're gonna try to do our best to knock that down. But South Eaton Street from Irwin South. They're looking to pave the end of November as long as the asphalt plant stays open. Last year it stayed open until December 15th. So if the weather cooperates, that will happen. However, they got slowed down a little bit because lo and behold, they got to 2 sanitary manholes. And they would pop the lids, they reached inside and they could take the bricks and crumble them into sand with their bare hand. So those had to get replaced. Along with a catch basin that had completely caved in on itself. So they were able to have some blanks that they're just regular structures that were already precast. They were able to cut holes in them. They had them Concord had them laying in the yard and was able to bring them in and put them in, but it slowed them down a little bit. One thing I didn't mention in the report, which I can't believe I didn't mention, was, we have a huge sinkhole on Chauncey Street directly across from the church. That we believe was caused a little bit by some or utility poles that may or may not have been put in the side of our storm sewer and create a huge hole. And that takes all of Albion Street comes into that. So it washed it out completely underneath. And it's a pretty deep hole. Which then led us to, when we put the camera down through it, we found that the sewer main coming down Austin Avenue was broken. So that's why in September, right before the festival, we had to cut open Austin Avenue and replace that entire sewer main. We also found that potentially all those utility poles that are in that substation that are right by Billikey's, more than likely are right through our storm sewer. So, yeah. And that's 48 inches in diameter. That takes all of Broadwell, Cooper, first, second, third, that whole area goes right down through there. We think there could be a couple telephone poles sticking through the middle.
Thank you, and I've heard you say this before, I'm pretty sure, but we're documenting stuff now, right?
Yes.
So that when the likelihood of this kind of stuff happening in the future is at least lower, right?
Yes, we have some video footage now. We have another sinkhole that's developing on Pine and Ionia. That is directly from Semco punching a hole, a 4-inch gas main through our storm sewer, and then it has separated. What's great about Semco, it's bright yellow going through a concrete, so you can tell it's theirs. And it's running horizontal, so. But yes, we were trying to document as much as possible, and we're trying to recoup as much as possible from utility companies. A lot of times when they're boring through, they can't tell that they actually punched through something, so. But we're trying.
Well, I think. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think really it's about not having accurate maps of where stuff is, and now we will, right? Because
We-
you're going in there, we know exactly where they are relative to.
Yes, before we had hand-drawn maps
Yeah.
on a lot of stuff. So back in May, I was able to get all of the data from the SAW grant that we had done in 2018. I got it on it was about 3 terabytes of data, 3 to 6 terabytes of data, and I was able to get it to Whiteman, who then put it into a program called Esri or GIS. I then got tablets for all of our utility workers. They all have tablets. They're able to access that live. And then that also had all the recordings in it. So every time we get something cameraed now, when I run a camera down through, Whiteman loads that newest video footage into that, and our crews are able to pull that up right then and there.
So it's linked to the asset.
Correct. Yep. And they're also able to see what the ratings were back even in 2018, what the ratings of the conditions were. So, also our staff, we have been blessed with an awesome staff. Dennis Torrey out at the wastewater or water treatment plant was on October 28th. Concord was working on the South Eaton Street and struck the old water main and the new water main by accident, and it flooded that entire area. And Dennis was in until midnight that night, going back and forth between the water tower and the water treatment plant, making sure we didn't have pressure drops and the water tower didn't drop, because right now, due to the upgrades at the water treatment plant, we can't monitor what's going on at the water tower or the pumps and the wells over on Clark Street, because the whole system's down, because it's getting all revamped to newer cellular modems instead of old phone lines. So they have to physically go through and read everything. So he was here till midnight that night after working all day. And so that dedication is huge. You know, we've got great staff. Ted Meeks is our superintendent for streets, parks, cemetery. He's been great with scheduling. Deputy Director Riddle has been phenomenal, the glue holding the place together along with Lindsay. And then Kent at the utility side. But the most important is David. He's the man that, he gives me that look every time I walk in his office, but without David, we wouldn't be able to do anything. Leave, pick up, renovations, anything. So the only reason we're successful and Aaron is successful is because of David. So he's the man when it comes to all this. That's all I got, other than what I wrote to you.
Councilman Frost.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director, for your report. North Berrien Street. Is there anything that the residents can do to prepare for the concrete coming in, paving?
Park on the side streets, Cedar and High, Pine Street. Public safety is not going to issue tickets for cars that are parked in that area, especially when they run the plates and they come back to the North Berrien Street address. Biggest thing is try to be patient. I know that we're almost to the end. This is only going to be the first layer of asphalt just to get us through. Then they're going to come back in the spring. It'll be the final layer of asphalt coming through. So, but we'll try to get out on social media and out to the council as well.
Okay, and then other kinds of notices to the residents. I'm going to do a little more work on my end to see about get more information out to the folks who live on Berrien Street. Is there any more that can be done from your end or from the end of the contractors to help at least make the residents there aware of what's going to happen, kind of a time frame?
Yeah, we're talking about, we've been kicking around the idea of putting together somewhat of a newsletter. I don't know, we'll have to check to see how much that would cost to mail out, but also put on our webpage or our social media pages. I don't think it'll be terrible to put together like a newsletter we can mail out to everybody, because we can kind of block it off. They're like blocks of everyone that's on that area where the construction is, so that's something we've been looking at doing too.
Okay. Well, November 10th, which
Yeah,
knock on
okay,
wood,
just
it's
handle it.
gonna happen, it's only a few days away.
Right.
Okay.
Right now, the only other thing I could do is try to get like the water department involved or other departments to go do it, of putting like going door to door, basically, putting a flyer together. So, yeah, I could also look at doing something like that.
Chief Phipps is a busy.
Can I interrupt? The people are more than, well.
Wait.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm sorry, just gotta
well,
say,
based on what he was saying, I was just gonna, okay,
I'll get with you afterwards.
but I want, okay, that's fine.
Windows, real quick, the windows got installed at City Hall. Looked a lot better. Except for Connie's was broken when we took it out of the box, which is the payroll clerk, which is the last person that you want to have the broken window in. But, so that's on order. And then, the elevator, still waiting. They installed the new panel. So it's kind of in between getting inspected by Safe Built and Albion Electric finishing it up. I know, that's the best I got.
so,
Not
Christmas?
Well, I like it for Thanksgiving. That'd be nice.
Take you to lunch if it gets done by Thanksgiving. You take me to lunch if it gets in by Christmas.
Okay, see about McDonald's.
Councilman Frost,
That's where I'm going, man.
yeah, Jason wants to go with the newsletter. You can ask for help, and I'd be more than willing to help
Yeah,
Mayor Pro Tem.
absolutely.
That, get them to the doors.
It's 78 cents
Yeah.
a mailing. It's just, unless you can put them in the water bill.
But that's.
That would be great.
that'd be- Yeah.
Can you do
Yeah.
that?
Glad you said that. We could, yeah. Sorry, scroll moment. New water meters on the commercial side. Our accounts payable got back some of the first billings on the commercial side. We actually were $1,000 higher on one customer alone for accurate readings.
You give them a grace period.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shock, but I mean, that just kind of gives you one idea. That's one commercial customer that was $1,000 each time below what we should have been collecting. So that's huge.
Yeah.
But what's nice about it too is that the customer will also be able to see what their bill is right off their phone or on the computer, on their website. And this is gonna be huge for us. So it was very good news. Yeah.
He will spend it.
So kind of going back to the leaf pickup,
Yes.
do you have a date, a timeline?
I wanted to do dates, so I asked the crews about doing dates, and they're like, it kind of depends on when Mother Nature wants to drop them. So it's gonna be kind of like a rotational basis. They said that's worked the best, where they just kind of keep going around in a circle until the leaves are gone. There are some areas that have more trees than others.
Okay, so I've had people get a hold of me and complain that people are blowing leaves in the street. That's not what we want.
Correct. We do not want that. Put it in the right of way.
The right away. It's
On the
not like
grass.
the old, we're going to shovel it into a
Correct.
big backhoe. It's gonna get vacuumed up. So
Correct.
if people want to rake towards the right of way, that's what we're looking at, right? But with the winds,
With the winds, it's gonna be tough. Yes, it's gonna be challenging for us. The one thing too, though, because everybody still pays for Granger to do leaf pickup everywhere else in their yard. We're kind of like in that gray area of, we're just supposed to pick up what falls in the right of way.
you know, it's hard to identify whose leaves are who.
Right.
So what we ask our citizens to do, like to prove they, no questions asked, just get it between the curb and the sidewalk. That's what we ask. We want that cooperation. We will do our very best. The problem that we're going to be encountering is, as Jason had said, weather. Because once it starts raining and those leaves get wet underneath and they freeze, that's when it becomes next to impossible to pick up. So one of the problems that we ask, or get it out to the right of way as soon as possible. Even if it sits there for a while, we will take care of it.
Mayor Pro Tem French.
So we all get a container to put our leaves in, and what my wife and I do is every Sunday, we take up all the leaves. In the house, in the easement, we blow it into the street, we mulch it in the lawnmower in the street, we pick it up, we put it in bags, we put it in the container, and we do that every week. If everybody does that, everybody will be fine. If you can't do that, physical limitations, etc., there are volunteers who are willing to help. I know that the college has literally 100 student athletes who over the years have always been willing to help someone who needs their leaves raked. So that's the way you do it. I mean, you don't worry about whether it's in the easement or in the road. You just pick up all the leaves in your yard. And then when December comes, when Granger doesn't pick up leaves, then the city will be ready because 80% of the leaves will be gone. We will have taken care of it. But that last 20% of all those oak trees and late maples, you know, that's when the city can help you. But if you don't do the first part, it makes it really hard on our city employees. It makes it really hard on your lawn because they leave them too long and they freeze, the grass dies.
But the biggest thing is just keeping them, we gotta keep them out of the road, because what happens is it plugs everything up, and we gotta go back to.
So, you know, if you do have a way of separating, like what you're gonna do this week, or in what part of the city you're gonna do this week, then it's, you know, then those people can get theirs on out there for you, you know?
Yeah.
And that will work.
So I'm gonna try keep everyone as much as possible, like a good schedule. It just kind of depends too, because if we go clockwise and I go to the one side of the city, because that's this date we're supposed to be at, but yet this place, the other side is getting hammered. It doesn't quite make sense. So I gotta be able to adjust and reallocate.
No, quadrants is typical.
Yeah.
Councilman Williams.
I was gonna say, if we heard it posted on Facebook when we were coming, but just getting that communication out may be a little more difficult than anything else, so.
And I think too, we're just gonna have to be kind of fluid with it, and this area is getting hammered more, so we put it on Facebook. Hey, next week, we're really gonna be hitting this area because of the leaves are so bad.
Have you guys already started though?
They have.
They have started.
They have. The day that we took possession of it, they went out the door with it.
Okay.
And
Yeah, and I think that's why I've been getting contacted, like,
Yeah.
what?
When are
what
they coming?
neighborhoods?
They coming.
right, they actually took it around the city. They wanted to try different areas just to see what it was like. Then they went to the cemetery because they were getting hammered. And it worked really, really good. So that's where I got the schedule today. I want to put it out in a nice map for you all and then be able to send out to all the citizens.
I think as long as we're all on the same page when we're communicating with our residents, that's the most important thing. We're starting. There's no map right now that we can.
Should have it. I'm gonna try my best to have it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Mid-morning. Yes.
Yes.
I owe this man some receipts, so I gotta get that done first.
Understandable. Very good. Great. Councilwoman Davis.
One other question, I know that these are the major streets in terms of being torn up. Is there any information you can give me regarding Maple?
So I put in for another grant. Very preliminary right now, but the grant would cover from north to the city limits. My goal is to complete reconstruct, not just mill it out and leave it as is. We're gonna do these projects, we're gonna do it right. Sewer, storm, everything. Get it done.
I just have to say something.
No, yeah, we're also waiting on one for Erie Street from downtown all the way to Albion. There's several roads that we put in for it.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you so much for the information, Jason. As we said, this is a 14-page document of just the projects that we tackled this year.
That's above and beyond our normal duties during the day.
It's not operating.
Yeah.
So thank you. All right. Future agenda items. What was that?
Budget.
Yes.
Oh, budget. Did we get a date for our 13th? Okay. 13th and
19.
6 to 8.
I'm thinking 2 hours times 2. If I
Right.
need to go a third, then I will. I'm going on vacation the first 2 weeks of December, so trying to get it wrapped up.
Yikes.
Marking your calendars, 13th, 19th, 6 to 8 p.m. Do we know if this space is available? Okay.
Wait. Before Thanksgiving, we'll be at City Hall.
So we're meeting on both days?
Both days, yes. We're not gonna, yeah. I had said before that it was easier to digest if we were able to break it up instead of trying to do it all in
Yeah,
one.
there's no way I can do it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Well, we could give you 4 hours and go to midnight.
Absolutely not.
That's how we're working on it.
We'll give you the morning off.
Any other agenda items? Councilman Davis?
Well, I don't know if this is appropriate, but should we start having a discussion regarding the city manager position?
That's up to council.
In terms of a tentative timeline or, you know, what we're doing. I don't know.
Let's put it, let's.
Look at Lynn, we're keeping them.
I'm trying to
Is
document.
it June,
Yeah.
January?
Next.
I don't know. You mean by contract?
Yes.
Yes.
It's, yeah, contract, it's,
Oh, so we don't have to worry about
Until you fire.
it. We don't, we don't have to worry about it. Okay. Well, we don't need to discuss
no,
that.
you can have that personal one-on-one conversation with him.
I was thinking it's January.
Councilman Frost.
Thank you, Mayor. Several months ago, when we were still holding our meetings in the City Hall chambers, we had the president of the college and Dr. Shaheen via telephone update us on the ARC project, Big Albion project, and I'd like to hear an update on how that's coming along.
Any other, Councilman Williams?
Yep, being that we're going into budgetary discussions, I think we should also factor in, the human resource and having, hiring a director for the human resource. We have next year, 3 union contracts next year? 4 union contracts next year, so that we're not blindsided. I think we need to get someone in there that's qualified to do the job, with experience in the field, so that we don't put ourselves at risk going forward.
I think in the past,
Yep, go ahead.
I think in the past, the city manager, along with who's ever handled human resources, have negotiated those contracts.
That's
With the
true.
help of the city attorney.
Yeah, that's true. And they are typically qualified. The HR directors typically qualified in human resources. Currently, we have certain constraints in that department. And to ensure that pensions and working conditions stay satisfactory, I think we should move in the direction of actually ensuring that we have qualified people in those positions. So something that we should discuss.
Anything else? Okay. Public comments. If there's anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council, you may do so at this time.
Frank Pasick, 900 South Eaton Street. I'd like to ask a question. When can we expect as residents to get the new water meters in our home? That you guys were talking about.
So we will, your council person will follow up with you.
Okay. And then we do have a galvanized pipe about that long that's attached to the water meter itself. Will that be replaced at the time that they do the water meters? I'm just asking. Okay, thank you.
Brian Mall, 772 J Drive South, Homer, Michigan. I apologize for interrupting Jason. I just wanted to add that we own the parking lot on the southwest corner of Berrien and Pine. And I've told several of the residents and they're welcome to use it. So if that helps with the paving process, they're more than welcome to use our parking lot. Several have been. I told them that's fine. So I apologize for interruption, but I want to get that on the record. So if you want to disseminate that, that's fine.
He's paving the way for progress. Thank you.
We just want to help. I know it's a bear. So the reason I came to council tonight is I wanted to make sure that the current city council's on board with cutting down all the trees on the streets between the curb and the sidewalk as you upgrade the infrastructure. It doesn't really make sense to me that after you guys have done such a great job of upgrading the water, the sewer, the water lines, none of that should be bothered by the trees. And then we get down to the problem of curb and sidewalk. And I agree that certain species of trees, especially silver maple and black locust, do significant damage to the curbs and the sidewalks. I don't have a problem removing those, but a lot of these beautiful oak and maple, I walk the streets and there's some of those trees are 100 years old and they're 3 inches from the sidewalk and there's very minimal damage. And we've even gone so far where 6 sidewalks and we've, made an arc out around the tree. And so it doesn't make sense. We're going to cut down these trees for that little bit of aggravation. I know it's some, but, we lose the aesthetics of the city. We plant these trees and, we see multiple occasions of that. And, the actual damage in the water, most of the water damage in Michigan comes from the winter. And these are deciduous trees. They've dropped their leaves. There isn't much shade. It comes from the freezing and the thawing. You can go right out here on the street, right out here as you leave tonight. Look at the street. It's all alligator. There's not a tree in sight. It's the freezing and the thawing that creates most of the damage. I realize there may be some, but I don't think it's worth cutting down all the trees. The upside is trees reduce the carbon footprint. If they produce shade, it does help preserve the asphalt because the sun wants to alligator to crack. And the thing is, the other is the increase in cooling costs. Everybody's got a house out there. If you got air conditioning, take your car to a parking lot with no trees, sit in it, see what happens, roll up the windows. It's 120 degrees. I mean, we're all smart people. We park under a shade tree because it's cooler. So I just don't think that's, in my opinion, I want the city council to think about it long and hard. And it's like, you can replace the house in a year, rebuild the whole house. The city council's shown that we can redo whole streets in a matter of months, but we can't replace these trees. It takes 100 years to replace them. So, thank you.
Does anybody else like to stand and address council? All right. Do we have a city manager's report?
Yes. Just a few things, Mayor. Today we met our new EDC director, Deb Kelly. Today was her first day. Well qualified, well-rounded individual. I think this is a new beginning for us. We promise that we're going to work very cooperatively and communicate well. So that's a very good thing. On Thursday of last week, I had an opportunity to meet the city manager of Marshall and take a look at some of Marshall's newest housing using Norfolk. And that was a wonderful experience. And one of the things they did, and we'll be looking at it as a city body, it's called a neighborhood improvement plan. it's a tip-off directed toward helping find the infrastructure and every other way to put new housing in place. This is important because we're looking at Watson Street right now. And I really like the plans of townhomes that, Norfolk had submitted in this building currently over in, Marshall, so. Again, great DPW report. We want to thank you and of course, all the department heads and all the employees for their support and their proficient work ethic. And the last thing is, as of last week, my office had received several complaints, various complaints, and it was all over the road, different complaints. Our office is open to talk most of the time. There are some complaints that are so far out there that they don't warrant addressing, or that a practical person's view that it's ridiculous. So I want to let you know, council, it's not that complaints don't go unfounded or unspoken about or unanswered. It's just that some complaints just don't merit response. So we took some in last week. Most complaints we will deal with, some we won't. So that's all I have at this time. Again, I want to appreciate everybody's hard work on city state. And we do appreciate our citizens and their input. So thank you. That's all I got.
Questions or comments? Yeah.
Two things. What's the best way for people to, file a complaint or make known something?
Well, it depends on the seriousness of it. I would hope that either a phone call or just coming upstairs to see me at City Hall. You know, reasonable people do reasonable things. We don't mind talking to people. I think that a lot of times things are put down in writing. That is their opinion, and that's exactly what it is. Only their opinion. We want to act on statements of honesty and statements of fact. And that's our expectation.
The second thing, I was privileged to be part of a meeting with Safe Built probably 6 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And we were gonna have a follow-up meeting. Is there, I guess we can talk about that offline, but
Yes.
I'd like to continue to follow up with some of the things that we brought to Safe Built and we discussed about improving the working relationship.
In the next 6 months, I would imagine that city council, based on the comments that I had heard at last week, have an expectation that we will probably have the administration prepare an RFP of Safe Built and their competitors. But I guess that is going to take some more exploring on our part.
This is probably not, this may be not appropriate, so let me know. But I guess I would say, like a marriage, when you have an existing relationship, it makes sense to try to work that relationship out so that it can be a productive relationship. So I'd like to not abandon the idea that we work towards a productive relationship. See.
That's fine.
It's
And
okay.
we'll schedule some.
Okay, going back to your question about how do we handle the complaints? Depending on if I get a phone call or an email. If it's an email, I will respond to the person, then I will copy Doug and whoever else within the city that this would have, or that person could help answer the questions. If it's a phone call, I will email Doug and whoever else, usually Jason. But sometimes it goes to the chief, you know, and others, you know, depending on that area. So I make sure that that person feels like I'm handing them to the right person. And I let them handle that conversation moving forward. As Doug had said, sometimes, you know, they want to be heard, but that's more just venting and that complaint's really just more complaining. There are some situations then, you know, people kind of go off the rails and they threaten lawsuit. At that point, we stop and it goes to Cohen. Because I think what people want to get is you responding to them in a way that can be used against us. So I always try to be very professional in that handoff. But once it gets to a point where they're threatening, then it goes to our attorney.
Thank you.
Any other comment for our city manager? Seeing none, council member comment. Councilor Stewart.
Sorry, last Saturday, was it last Saturday? 2 Saturdays ago, I mentioned the last council meeting, we were hosting a tournament. We had 800 people some from the Albion area, but many from multiple counties around show up, and the fields around this school were just hopping with people. It was a really incredible sight, a very successful first soccer tournament hosted here, and I think Albion showed really well, and I was really proud of us.
Congratulations. Our Eastern Academic Center, KCC, is having an anniversary open house on Wednesday, I believe it's 4 to 7. So if you're available to go out, to show your face, say congratulations, I think would be a good idea for some of us on council to be out there to support our campus here in town.
Next.
No, it's this one. They have the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to know about, from public safety in terms of something that transpired during the weekend or last weekend?
That was outside the city.
Yeah, that was an invite.
Yeah, okay. So they are
So I
still
have been
taking.
referring, I've been deferring that to them because it's not our jurisdiction and I don't want to step on their toes and release information that they don't want released.
Okay.
City Harkness.
That's the comment that we give us outside.
It's outside the city.
I had sent council an email for the last couple of years, we've done food baskets, one for each precinct, for Thanksgiving, for families in need, so. Council can identify a needy family, at the next council meeting, I'll have those in my car ready to hand off to each, council member, and at least, 7 families will have a full Thanksgiving dinner this year. So just a friendly reminder, I'll try to bump everybody with an email.
I've selected mine, so I'm all set.
Any other council member comment? Wonderful. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Sport.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned, 8 p.m. Everybody knows.